In this video, I'm going to show you how to use and create a Google form to capture lead information and then send a lead magnet to that lead via Zapier. So we're going to use Google Forms to capture the lead information, and then we're going to integrate that in with Zapier to send over the lead magnet to the new lead as soon as they fill out the form. And we're going to enter in that information into your KW command website as a new contact. All right, so let's get started. Let's turn over and we'll turn on the computer here and we'll get started with today's tutorial. So basically what we're doing is embedding a Google form into our KW command website that's going to allow somebody that's visiting the website to download our free buyer's guide. And this is what it looks like when the form is embedded on your KW command website. So to get started with this, there's a couple components that we're going to need to have. The first is you're going to need to have a PDF already created of your buyer's guide here. And then you're going to need to create a Google form that's going to capture the lead information. And then finally, we're going to use Zapier to connect the two. And what we're going to do is anytime somebody submits a Google form, you're going to have a Zap that receives the Google form sign up and then sends out an email to the lead that says, thank you for downloading our free seller's guide. Here's the link to download the guide. And we're going to have a second Zap that then connects the Google form to your KW command website and CRM that enters that lead as a new contact into your command account. So with that, the first thing, if you've already got your buyer's guide created, you're going to need that open. So I'm logged into my KW command or my KW Gmail account. I'm using Workspaces and my Google Drive here. So I'm going to show you really quickly what the form that we're building is going to look like. So the form here is just a free home buyer's guide, a little bit of information about the guide, and then first name, last name, phone number, and email address. I just want to capture that information. I've made all of those fields required. And let's get started creating that form. So the very first thing inside of Google Drive, you're just going to click on New, and then down here, Google Forms, and that's going to open up the new form. So to get started creating the form, the first thing we're going to do is create a title for our form. And I just called this the free home buyer's guide. And then I have a description over here. I'm just going to copy and paste it because I've already got it typed out. So on this form, I'm going to paste in my description. And then I'm going to start my questions. So now you can do multiple choice. You have a whole selection of questions that you can answer here if you've never created a Google form before. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one first name, and I'm going to make this required. And then I can go through here and I can copy this field if I wanted to and make that last name, phone number, and email address. Okay, so now, and that's also required. So now I've got my form completed. I've got the fields that I want to collect. And I'm going to come over here to, this is where your responses are going to go. You can link this to a spreadsheet too, if you wanted. And then under settings, there's a few things here that we need to change in order for this to work on our KW command website. First thing I want to do is under responses, I need to make sure it says restrict to users inside the organization that owns the workspace account. In this account, I'm using my KW Gmail email address to create these forms. So I want to turn this off. That makes it public. Anybody that sees this form will be able to fill out the responses. Next thing I want to do under presentation here is I want to edit the confirmation message. And I'm going to come over here to a form that I've already filled out. And again, copy paste this information just to make it quick in this tutorial. So I just have a quick confirmation message. So when somebody fills out the form on your website, they're going to get this message, and it just says, "Thank you for downloading my buyer's guide. Please check your email. I just sent you an email with a link to the guide. Thank you," right? So I'm going to save this, and then the rest of these are okay. There's nothing really else that I need to do there. So I've got my form built out. Now on the example that I showed you, or in the version that I create, I like to include a header image up here at the top. And that's if I share this form via a link, not embedded on the website. If we go back to the KW Command website here real quick, you'll see that header of the form does not show up when it's embedded, but it does show up when it's a like a link that you send somebody to share this form. So to add this, I'm going to come over here to this palette where I can customize the theme. And there's just a little thing here. So let me go back to the new form that we were creating. Click on that palette. This opens up your theme options. You could change the size of the header and the font type here, the size of the questions, and the size of the responses. So down here, and also the color. So I'm going to make this red to match my KW branding, or I could even do gray, whichever is your preference, right? You can add a background color here as well. So I'm going to choose image and then upload. Now I already have a graphic designed here. I'm gonna pull these over. Now I do have a template and forms that I'll send you that you can copy and use if you don't want to go through the process of setting all of this up on your own. So I'm just gonna say done, and now that's gonna upload the header image, and there we go. I can exit out of the theme settings. Here's my header image, and here's my form down below. Now, if I want to share this, all I have to do is click the send button, and it's going to give me the option of sending this via an email to someone. I can grab that link. So and I can even shorten that link if I want. So I can copy that. Now, if I email this to someone and they click on that link, it's going to open it up, and there's our header image, right? And there's the information on the form. So now I go back over here to the form, and this is my embed HTML code. And I'm going to need this information later to embed it into my KW Command website. Okay, so we're almost ready. So we've completed building out our Google form. The next thing that we need to do is we need to integrate this in so that when somebody completes the Google form, we are going to use a Zapier, or Zapier, to connect the Google form submission to our command account, creating a new contact. And then we also want it to send an email to that contact, distributing our lead magnet, in this case, our download guide. So in order to do that, we're going to do two things here. First thing I want to do, since I just completed this form, I want to create a response so that when I test it in Zapier, it has data already in there. I'm going to use my personal information. That way, so I'm going to come over here and do preview. And I'm going to fill out this with my own information. And that way, when I submit it, I have test data that I can use. Use my business phone number there, and then my KW email address. And I'm going to hit submit. And now here's that confirmation guide that we showed. It says, "Thank you for downloading my buyer's guide. Please check your email. I just sent you an email with a link to the download. Thank you," right? So now I need to actually send them that email. To do that, I'm going to go to Zapier. The first time you come here, you're going to need to create an account. Once you've created an account, this is your home screen, and we're going to create a Zap. So you'll just click on here, create Zap, and that's going to bring you over. It's going to load up a new thing, and it's going to say Zaps. And there's an AI widget up here at the top. You don't have to worry about that using this tutorial that I'm creating for you today. You're not going to have to worry about this one. Over here in the name field, we're just going to say like download buyer's guide. KW contact. So what I'm going to do with this one is create a command contact. Now I'm going to come down here and select trigger, and I want this to be a Google form trigger. All right, it's not me, it's the way that it's deleting letters here as it's form. All right, so it's already pulled up Google Forms. So I'm going to click on Google Forms. So app and event, Google Form. The event is going to be a new form response. Then I'm going to click continue. It's going to ask me the account. Since if this was your first time, you're going to have to sign into your Google account, and it'll walk you through how to do that. I'm going to click continue, and it's going to say, what is the trigger? What triggers this zap to happen? So I'm going to say we said earlier, new form response, right, is the account. So I'm going to go buyer's guide is my trigger. When somebody submits a response to the buyer's guide form, that's going to trigger this zap to happen. Next, it's going to say test this. So I'm going to hit test. It's going to pull in that data. Now here's the one that we just submitted. There's my name. There's my business phone number. There's my Gmail account and my last name. So I'm going to say continue with the selected record. And then I'm going to come over here and it's going to say, what do we want it to do? I'm going to look up Keller Williams command, and it's right there. Now you can't do KW command. The search function won't find it. You've got to type in Keller Williams spelled out like that. So now it's going to say, when this form is filled out, I want to trigger an action inside of KW command. So here I'm going to say I want to create a contact or lead, and then I'm going to hit continue. It's going to ask me to log into my command account, continue. Now this is the action. What happens when this goes through? So the account, I'm going to choose my personal account. If you're on a team and you want this to go into your team account, you can select those. Any account that's affiliated with your KW login that you used under the account here will be listed. Then I'm going to choose mark the lead. Yes, I want this to be marked as a new lead. The source here, it's got to be a source that's already in your command account. So you could say like KW, let's see, I don't know. Oh, there we go. So branded website, if you have one, command web pages. It's got to be a source that's already created in your command account. So if you haven't done that yet, you can jump over to command, create a new source, and then when you come back here, it'll be listed there. So I could just say command web pages or whatever we want to do there. First name, I'm going to go through and map those fields to the fields in my form. So I have a first name field, and then I have a last name field. And it's already showing me that demo data that it pulled, the test data that it pulled from the other form. That way I can map this correctly. Email address, I'm going to go all the way down here to email address in the form. Now when it first pulls this up, it gives you, I'll show you here, this respondent email. You don't want to use that. You want to use this email address down here that they submitted via the form. Okay, and then the last one, that I'm under phone number right now, so I'm going to add the phone number. Now I'm not collecting address, city, state, or any of that information during this thing, so I don't need to put anything in there. Tags, I can come down here and again search for a new tag. If it's one that's already in there, you can do that. If you've created one in command, like I already have, download buyer's guide. And I'm going to say, you could say use that because there's no matches found. And it's going to create that tag for you. Or whatever tag you want to insert in there. And then you can add a description in here. Hit continue. Now it's going to pull all of this and it's going to test the step. So it's sending the contact information in there. So now I already have a contact in command and it's going to give me an error. That's why we're going to use this Zapier to send out the email to your contact as soon as they fill out the request to download your buyer's guide. If you have that contact already in command, then it's not going to create a new command contact for you. If you were using the functionality to where when somebody, if you were using the functionality to where when somebody submits the form, it goes into command and automatically starts a smart plan by the tag that you're using, the Zap is going to stop here if they're already in your database, and it's not going to send out the smart plan. So in my opinion, with the way that we're doing this, we want to send out the email through Zapier. That way, if it's a contact that's already in your database, they'll get that download that they requested. You just won't get a new contact in there. You'll still see the notification that they've downloaded the file from Zapier. You'll get an error that says contacts already in your database. And then if you were doing this with new lead generation, you could obviously trigger that smart plan and have it go from there. So just completely up to you how you want to work this. So I'm going to say skip test right now. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to save this because I already have this in my Zapier. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to say discard draft. So I already have the KW command, Google Form, KW command integration. Zap. Now I could click create over here, create a new Zap. And then in this case, this is where I'm going to do, again, the Google Form is my trigger. So when somebody fills out Google Form, I want new form response, continue. I'm already assigned into my account. I want to capture anybody that's filled out my buyer's guide form. And then I'm going to test that trigger. It's going to collect the data from that demo that we pulled in. And it's going to show me, again, here's my name, business phone number, Gmail account. I'm going to say continue with that selected record. Now, this one, I want it to send an email. So I'm going to say email. Now, you can use any of these email senders here. They already provide one, email by Zapier. So I'm going to choose that one. And then I'm going to say I want to send an outbound email, continue. Now here, the action, what do we want it to do? I want to send to the email address from the form that they filled out. Subject, it's going to say, I'm going to say something like download your free buyer's guide. Actually, I'm going to change this and say, here's your free buyer's guide download. I don't even need to say download. I can just say, here's your free buyer's guide. And then under the HTML body over here, this one I can just, I've already got some language that I've used in the past here. So I can fill that in here, or I could just say, thank you for requesting So I could just say here, thank you for requesting a copy of our buyer's guide. Here is a link for your download. Okay. And then I'm going to need to use, the way that this is going to send it out, I need to use a little bit of HTML here. So I'm going to do the open caret here, and then I'm going to do a space href parentheses, and then I'm going to do a space parentheses. I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to say download buyer's guide, and then I'm going to do another open with a / and the letter A, and then I'm going to close caret that. So this is my HTML code, and what this is saying is when somebody clicks on download buyer guide, what's in between these carets, they're going to activate this link that's right here in these parentheses. So to get that link, I'm going to come back over to my Google Drive, and I'm going to find, this is my buyer's guide file. I'm going to go to share, copy my link, and I'm going to come back over to Zapier, and I'm going to highlight that space that I inserted, and I'm going to paste that link right there. So now when somebody clicks on download buyer's guide, it's going to activate this link and it's going to open up that PDF that I've shared. Now make sure when you're sharing that link that you're sharing it, it's anyone with the link can view. So to do that, when you go to your share guide over here, your share function, if you click on share, it's going to say general access, anyone with a link is a viewer, and then I'm going to copy that link. So I could do it either way. I'm going to remember you're pasting it here, and then I'm going to close out the data here. I don't need to do an attachment. From name, I can say like Subacz Real Estate Team. Reply to, this is the email address. If they hit reply, that it will go to. So this email is going to come from like a Zapier email address. But if they hit reply, I want it to come to me so that I receive their reply. So I'm going to put in my KW email address here. And then I can carbon copy or blind copy anybody on the form, fill out. This is force line breaks. So back up here, I want a space in between each one of these. So I'm going to say like, thank you for downloading, space, here's your buyers, here's a link for your download. So down here, I'm going to say true, I do want you to force line breaks. And then enable read receipts. I do want to know that somebody read the email. That way I could call them up or send them a text message and say, thank you so much for downloading the buyer's guide. I see that you received the file. Do you have any questions, or whatever your follow-up game looks like? From there, I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to send that test. Now, because this is my information, and that's why I wanted you to use your information when you filled out that demo form field, I'm going to hit test step. And then this is going to say that an outbound email was sent. And then I'm going to jump over here on my phone. And sure enough, I received that email address. And I'm going to click download buyer's guide. And sure enough, it's opening up the document and I can see the PDF. So I do have access to that. So now that I've confirmed that it did send, I'm going to hit publish. And it's going to publish that Zap. And then it's going to ask you, like, there was other existing data, like if this was a form that you already built in the past, it'll say, do you want me to transfer all the existing data? And I'm going to say, no, I just want to go back to Zaps right now. So there you go. We've integrated the Google form field with our KW command account, and we've also integrated it in to send out an email. You could do this for any of the form fields. You can create another one that says seller's guide download, or any lead magnet for that purposes. If you want to be able to send a PDF document or any other document over to your leads, you can create those apps here. So with that, next step that we need to do is integrate this into our KW Command website. So I'm going to show you how to build a custom page on your website. Mine says get instant access to my free buyer's guide, and I embed the form down below. So to do that, we're going to log into our KW Command account, and we're going to go over to the consumer applet. We're going to click edit my website, and that's going to launch your website editor. From here, we want to create a custom page. Now I've already created one, so I'm going to open that up for you now and show you what that looks like. So my custom page, I call it Get Instant Access to My Free Buyer's Guide. Then I just copied that page title down to the internal page name. And I came down here. I am not hiding my title, but I don't have a background image. So this just shows my title right here. Then down below here, page contents, you choose add module. And now you can do, there is a iframe embed here. I don't like the way that it I don't like the way that it looks. So I did an HTML embed. In this case, instead of doing the HTML embed, I actually did a rich text. So under rich text here, you can do an embed, and then I just did an HTML embed. And when you do that HTML embed, it's going to open this pop-up here that says edit HTML. There won't be, I've already selected the HTML module that I want to use here. In this case, there won't be one here. So it'll say create new. So when you create a new one, it's going to come back here and pop up this window that will say your internal name. And I called it Buyer's Guide Download. And then here's my HTML code. I will include this code if you are using my Expand Your Command website setup, where we set up your website for you, then you'll already have this code published on your website, and you'll just need to come in here and replace the iframe section here, when I'll show you how to do that right now. If you don't, there is a link down in the description of this video where you can get a copy of this code to copy and paste in here. Okay, so from there, I'm going to come back over here to my buyer's guide, and I'm going to choose that send option again, where remember it does this pop up, and I'm going to choose this little open caret, close caret there here where it says embed HTML, and you can see that's my iframe code right there. I'm going to choose copy, and then I'm going to come back over here to my command website editor. And right here where it says iframe to iframe, I'm going to paste that here. And then when I click off of there, it's going to render a preview again for me. Now, the first thing I want you to notice is when it previews it, there's now a scroll bar here. The form isn't all on one page. That's because of this little height setting right here. You can change that before you copy the embed code back on the Google form. Or you can just come in here and we're going to increase this number. I'm going to say 1097. And then it's going to render my preview. And now you can see there's no scroll bar over here. And the form all fits on one page. That's all I need to do. I'm going to come over here and click publish. That's going to publish the HTML module that we just created, that HTML code in there. So then I'm going to choose back. And now on this pop-up, I'm going to have to make sure that I select my buyer's guide download, save and close. And now that HTML module that's embedded there is the buyer's guide. And it's going to pull up this where all of a sudden it's going to embed your form here. And then you're just going to click publish to make that page live. All right, so that's it for this tutorial showing you how to create a lead magnet form where your leads can fill out the Google form and we'll get your lead magnet delivered to them. And you'll also get that contact information entered into your KW Command website as a new contact. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do me a favor. If you like this kind of content, be sure to click the subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every time we upload new videos. I'll be uploading command tutorial videos like this one and others every week. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you got value out of this video, do me a favor, let me know that by clicking the like button down below. That helps the YouTube algorithm get this video out to more real estate agents, Keller Williams agents, so that they can see how to expand their command account and get some digital marketing services going on their command tools that we have available to us. So thanks again for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.